So before we begin with the proper slides and everything, I'm going to say, who here is a parent of a young athlete in high school, middle school, elementary school? Is anyone a parent? Have you ever run into issue where, say you get a day off from, you get a day at work where you can get off early and you want to go catch your son or daughter's game, and you don't know what time or where it's at? We have the solution for you because we feel that when there's not enough attendance at these games, it discourages athletes to keep on with the motivation. So, hello, my name is AJ Blaine and I'm the CEO of Lane Sports.
My name is Crystal San Pedro and I am CMO and Secretary.
I'm Nestor Pena, CTO and CFO of Lane Sports.
So the problem that we have came to encounter was that teens and adults throughout Fresno Unified aren't aware of when and where school events, sports events throughout Fresno Unified take place, and this causes a lack of people attending these events and a lack of recognition to the athletes as well.
So our solution is to come up with a technology-based product or service in a way to help parents and teens locate where these games are, and also this could be a benefit for scouts to look for future talent.
So we plan on doing this by creating a website as well as an app similar to a website and social media for other students to look more into what we do.
So our target audience, or the people that we plan to market, are to teens and that play sports, and also teens that enjoy watching sports, parents and family members who have children that play these sports.
Our main competitor is Max Preps, and some ways we're different from them is that from the app you'll get daily alerts on games. You can easily share events through Facebook and Instagram. It's personalizable to your needs. It's easy to navigate website and app, as well as it's free to all the users. Easy way to find games through our calendar, and you'll find all the statistics from your favorite sports.
So we took a survey at Fresno City College to kind of get a glimpse about what people would think about our business and our idea. And one of the questions that we asked was, do you know when sports events are? And as you can see, 60.5% said no, which is a really great amount. And the second question we asked was, how do you find out about these events? And most people said social media or friends. And the third question that we asked was, would you download an app to find out when school events and sports events are happening? And 36.8% said yes. So we feel that this kind of gave us an idea that people would consider actually downloading our app and using our website.
So our MVP event also took place outside of our school, and we went to local high schools such as Roosevelt and McLean. This gave us a chance to get another school's perspective on our idea. So what we did is give surveys, just talk to some of the students around those campuses to really see if they would use it, if this is beneficial to them.
So social media, so one of the big things in marketing is social media, and the biggest platform that we do use is Instagram. And we have different types of posts that helps us engage with our audience. For example, we do have Motivational Monday, we have Workout Wednesday, and we have what's called Featured Fridays. Since one of our goals as Lane Sports is to give recognition to athletes, we use Featured Friday to recognize local athletes that play for our high schools throughout Fresno Unified.
So moving on to our app prototype. So once you download the app, you'll log in or register. After you log in, it'll ask you to choose your favorite sports, and from choosing the favorite sports that you like, the app will modify your searches and be more customizable to your needs. And here on the home screen, you'll have the upcoming games, your favorite teams, and recent scores. And on the statistics side of it, you have all the recent results, as well as player results, as player statistics. And you can easily go on the calendar and choose a day, and it will tell you all the games for that day. And once you choose an event that you want to go to, it'll tell you the name of the school, the sport, time and date, and navigation on a GPS on how to get to the event.
So our website is very much similar to our app, where it's going to be a lot of easy access to our schedules and everything. So when you first come to our website, you see this magnificent page of the 7 high schools that are huge in Fresno Unified. So say I'm a first-time user, I go to Bullard. So Bullard pops up, I go, oh, look at all these awesome sports. So it gives you a wide variety of all the sports here and availability for you to go look for the sport that you're exactly looking for. So when you come to the Bullard football page, you would get a schedule. So if you click on the schedule, it brings you to a wide screen. So you don't have to zoom in on your phone or on your computer. It's already there. It blows up for you. It's nice and easy access. It gives you all the locations, times, and dates as well. So if I'm going further down the page, it gives me a picture of the head coach, Don Abrax. So this is a way that scouts can then see, okay, if I want to get in touch with maybe one of the athletes, I know who to kind of go look for and maybe make contact with first and the head coach. This will also be included later on when we get the actual rosters onto the site with all the all the athletes' names with their numbers and positions. So then I will go to the About page. So the About page is more about what we are doing and what our goals are doing. So this will give us a great glimpse into who we are and why we believe what we are doing is important. So we get a great about us. What is Lean Sports? Lean Sports is a nonprofit organization. We're not looking to make profit off this. We want to help people and our local athletes in a way it's going to be beneficial for them and everyone in the community. If we go down the page more, it's our mission statement, which is our mission is to market sports events throughout Fresno Unified High Schools to ensure student involvement and recognition to young athletes is key. So we are really wanting to help our community, not just ourselves. So what we are asking from you is $6,100 so we can buy our equipment for photography at the games, so we can produce our app at a high quality and it's easy for everyone in our community to use. So if our goals within the next year to achieve as a team is have our working app up and running in the next year, our website completely finished with rosters, with schedules, everything we need. We are hoping to partner with Fresno Unified so we can make these connections early on and continue this focus of getting our school's athletes to the next level, into the collegiate level as well. So we are also hoping within this first year we want 35,000 downloads of our app within our community because we believe this is important for our parents, our staff, and even our students to even use. So thank you for your time. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
By the way, no, I wasn't texting. I was checking out your website that's live. That's cool.
Pretty tech savvy over here.
So this is just Fresno Unified?
At the moment, we are targeting Fresno Unified because that is the district where we are in, and we can have easy access to start with because our district is very big on student input, and they really want us to voice our opinions and what we believe. So we believe this is a great starting point for us. If we see something in the future that may open more districts into wanting this type of item, we can look into that as too.
You mentioned the results of when you went to Fresno City, and then you talked about how you went to high schools to talk about your product. What were the results from that? What was the feedback from the students at the high schools?
The feedback from the students at the high schools also came into those surveys as well. So they are all from Fresno City to the high schools, all benefited into that survey.
Okay.
So those are the wide variety of results. So imagine if even we have college students that are wanting this for the college level, even at the city colleges, they want this type of stuff so it's easy access.
Matter of fact, could you go to your survey data, the last slide, the last pie chart about demand? So, yeah, that one. So especially given your sample size, which is a good sample size actually, and the age of your sample size, what do you see as the significance that you're almost, sir, the maybes and the yeses are fairly close? So what's that tell you about your market segment?
Our market segment then is kind of showing then maybe there's some differences that we may need to change in the future for our size and everything. But what we're seeing here is a great visualizing, like we have a market that's wanting this. There's a very big market that is wanting this, there's a big market maybe that doesn't want this, but there's like in between that, okay, maybe if I'm a college student, I'm bored on a Friday night, I want to go catch a football game, and there's not one at the city college, maybe I go to the high school games. This is another way for them to be also involved as well.
Right, because we would look at the 31.6% as, you know, the value proposition may not be clear to them. As a parent of a child, I cannot keep track of my kid's schedule. So I'm looking at this app as a way for me to figure out where is he playing and things like that. So maybe that might be the segment that your should be targeting as parents. Is that the intent?
So we're planning on targeting, so students is the target audience, but also the parents, because more of your problem too. So we're all, that's also another target audience, but maybe we didn't clarify that in our presentation.
As also, as I'm going to add on to what my colleague Nestor said, it was very big that we target students and parents, but there's also the scout side, as I was mentioning earlier.
Yeah.
This is huge for them, because if they see a talent they really, really like, and they want to go see this young athlete play in a game, they can use our website, our app, to go find this game and where it's happening.
Something you guys may not have thought about in your target audience, since your overall goal is to get people coming to all these games, is targeting alumni. I was a high school athlete and a collegiate athlete, and if my sport specifically was reaching out to me to come and being like, hey, this is our game, that ensures that we'll be there, and there's no better support than your alumni, so that might be something you guys can reach out to see if this is a need for them too.
Yeah, matter of fact, I was thinking even as a parent of expand beyond sports, when you look at the arts and music and band and marching band, there's a ton of schedules out there, and currently it's all done through emails through the instructors in some sites, so it's really difficult to follow. This could be an app that could easily solve that problem.
Yeah. Okay.
Along with what he's saying, yeah. Don't ever want to lock in when you're forming a business to be so static that you can't adjust. And I noticed an adjustment from your MVP. I was on your MVP judge, and I've seen already you've added some stuff from them. This point is really good, like almost a student scheduler or an activity scheduler. That you might not want to change everything from Lean Sports to that, but if Lean Sports, hey, coming soon, Lean Sports adding activity scheduler page, you know, or click here for choir, there's the flute tryouts, the whatever, all the stuff, all the other stuff. It's a good point, like people would be interested in that. The other thing I was going to say is, I tagged on because of what he was saying, but I'll roll into a couple other things. You had to add, because you're asked to, your exit strategy, and you did, but I have an issue with that. When you start as a nonprofit, you're not really going to flip the business to somebody for a profit. It doesn't work. It's not allowed. It can't happen. So a lot of people don't realize that you can use, and I said this earlier in another one this morning session, you can use a nonprofit to get started. You use a nonprofit for building the app, getting everything all ready, but then you convert it to a profit business later. So you may want to think about starting as a nonprofit till you're ramped up, you've got everything you need, you're ready to go, and then roll it into a for-profit. Because as a nonprofit, it doesn't mean that you don't want to make money. You have to have enough money to build it out and get it set up. But once it's built out and set up, that's okay. That's legal to do that. It's kind of the rules of the game to play a little bit. So my thought is, don't just stay in Fresno for that reason. It's really like, it feels good to say Fresno, we're going to be here for Fresno, we're going to do Fresno, but use Fresno as your test market, kind of where you're starting it. This is something that could be used anywhere. So if you're going to flip it to a for-profit business, then you want this model to be able to work in other places. And I had said that at your MVP too, and I didn't hear that tonight. That's okay. You know, the chance that I would be in both is you know, odd, but it happens. So I would like to see that you think a little bit more about that, because I really think that from a business perspective, getting it off the ground is going to take that. Secondly, as a nonprofit, we just had a nonprofit come through here right before you as well. You guys can raise more money. Nonprofit money is different than, it's Disneyland money, it's fake money. So don't be afraid. $6,100, you don't, I mean, I've heard apps are $5,000, so where'd you get a $3,500 app? It's great that you're okay to squeeze it down to 35, but what if they say, oh, but we didn't know you needed this action and this action and that action. You may need $7,000 just for the app. So don't undersell yourself on your ask for the for the money for building the app out, because you think, oh, that's big money. I normally ask my dad for 20 bucks to go out on a Friday. $6,100 is a lot of 20s. You know, you might be thinking like that. Don't think like that. You can't. You have to think of what the hard costs are. Don't let them scare you, and ask for what it is. And there's grants available for nonprofits. We talked about that earlier before the lunch break. You know, Central Valley Community Foundation, which our former mayor, Ashley Swearingen, is now the CEO of. She would be very helpful with this if you went and talked to her and asked her, how could we, you know, consider grants? And we were told earlier that there's a computer in the lobby that you can look up all the grants that are available. Nonprofits are allowed to go for grants, for-profits aren't, typically. So they're mostly available to nonprofits. And you're going to need your nonprofit entity structure approved by the federal government before you can go for anything. You have to get that done. And I assume you're all under 18, so you're going to have to figure out a way to get your entity set up to do that in the future. You can't take funds, you can't go and do these things that you want to do. So, little work to be done, but it's a great concept. I believed in it last time. I believe in it now. I just think it's not fully explored.
I agree. My question is, the district's very large and has a lot of sports. How are you mentioned not only do you have schedules, but you have stats. How are you going to get those information?
Well, our hope is within when we get these stats is we get like a record from like the schools themselves, like the coaching staff. Because I know from a player myself, there's coaches always taking stats for the teams. So if there's a way we can get in touch with those coaches and everything to get those stats and we can implement it into our website almost instantaneously, it would be amazing.
Yeah, well, in today's age, you can get high school stats about on any sport at any time. And I would definitely make sure that you need to get that partnership with First Unified to show them this is a benefit, because it'll, one, you get the schedules, but also they have stats as well. All the athletic directors all have to report to the director of athletics. So you'll make sure you get that as well, but I think that could be, once you get that going and that relationship, then I think everything else can fall in line from there. But I'm not having that. And you also mentioned equipment for photos at games. There's 3 of you. So are you going to be at every game taking pictures, or are you going to pick one game?
So in that cost structure that I put on the last page of the investor packet is very much showing that we're getting 2 sets of cameras. So say there's 2 big games going on in the Fresno Unified District. We go cover both those games, and we can highlight one of the athletes from each of those games.
On your website, was there a highlight section where you could put highlights, or is it just schedules and stats?
What we were looking at first was definitely doing the schedule stats, because that's something that's going to be very beneficial early on, but maybe that's something we can add on later on as we grow more.
And that's what I'm saying. I would focus on trying to get photos of games. I would focus on schedule stats, and I like the highlighting of an athlete. That's a good thing, but you only need one person to do that. You don't need to expand yourself so much to where you're spreading yourself thin just trying to cover games if there's nowhere to put it. And that's information that you're trying to gather that has nowhere to go. So once you get to that point, then yes, but I would focus on the development of the app and getting the stats and schedules so parents can find out what their kids' games are, or students can know, hey, this is a big game coming on. And definitely the piece about highlighting athlete is good, but focus on that piece first. Then as you expand, then talk about maybe highlighting games.
And even though a nonprofit, you need to develop an operational budget. So like for your human capital, so if you're collecting statistics from the various games, how many hours of data input is that going to be? You know, who's going to do that data input? How many people on any given Friday are going to be involved? And even if you're going to rely on volunteer work, you're going to want to have a good sense of how many hours you're going to be asking of people's time. You know, so that you can say, hey, to cover 7 high schools, 7 games, we're going to need at least 7 individuals for 3 hours a night. And then that way you can plan out your budget. You know, even as we teach this to nonprofits, that even though they're nonprofit, they still need to profit in the fact that they need to be break even at a minimum with their contributions so that they're not losing their mission. Operational budget kind of fleshed out. You know, because right now our camera is the highest priority item for you to purchase. You know, is it the app development? And like with app development, I guarantee you with any software project, triple it. You know, because you run into bugs and all kinds of different compatibility issues. So
And you gotta build an app for Android, and you have to build an app for iPhone. They're separate, you gotta pay separately to have those done. So I would say increase your, did I cut you off, Tim? Or you-
No, you're good.
Yeah, you gotta increase your budget on that, no big deal, just go back and plan that out a little bit more, and then you might wanna do, like he was talking about, gathering the data and then putting it in. Figure out a way to automate the data input that it matters to the school when they put it in. How about a schedule change, a location change alert system? Well, the coach has gotta be able to, whoever your liaison is at the school has to be able to go, oh shoot, we're changing where we're meeting. And he just logs into his app and goes, toot, 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 and you didn't have to be notified to type it. He types it in, he loads it, and it shoots out a text blast, email blast, or an alert through the app to say, schedule change, location change, rain outage, whatever, all there, everything all there, all coming through. So you need live data, good data. What's going to make this is good data, really good data. That's what is going to make this work. It's going to have to be that. And so you need pure stuff. And to the photography piece, I think that it's not going to work. I don't mean that bad, but there's 3 of you. You're going to have an army to get out there and really do it. I think that, I don't know if Fresno Unified has photography departments in their schools. I would parlay and I would leverage what's already in place at these schools. And I would say, look, we're going to raise the money as our nonprofit beta phase, and we can kick some money towards your club program for photography, for you guys to in exchange do this for us. You go out to the games, you get the pictures, you upload them to the site for us, and we'll tell you what we're looking for as it goes along, as you're fleshing it out in the beta phase, you know. And then you don't have to be everywhere. You're more managing what they're doing and what they're sending to you instead of you trying to do it. You guys are going to have to there's 3 of you. This is a big tiger to tackle. So you want to be overseeing what's being done, and you got to have to leverage the people that are available that already have the stuff. You know, they've got the stuff, and they want to take pictures. Their teacher just didn't tell them where to go and what to do yet. Well, and the teacher hears he's got $1,500 donated to their program. He's going to send the kids down there to take photos for you guys and get raw data for you. You know.
Josh brings up a really good point too. If you highlight this application to the coaches as a focus group to see what are their needs as an application, then you're doing a switching cost where the cost of data input, now it's a valuable tool to them. And so not only are you marketing to them, but now think about that. Every coach is going to market to every parent. You've got a built-in promotion tool that grows your tool.
Like download this app for all of our staff instead of waiting.
You guys have a good product. I want you to go look at Sports Illustrated Play. It's similar, but it's different, but they have some things that you can embed and kind of take or see how they do it. It's similar, but it's a little bit geared differently, where coaches can make announcements to their team, or coaches can log into things and you can see scheduled sports. I wouldn't say it's a competitor because that's something different, but the structure is a little bit the same. So you might be able to see kind of what they do and things like that, and kind of make adjustments to yours. But overall, I think it's really good idea.
Any more questions or comments?
Very good.
There is.